All right, everybody, welcome back to vlog number 3. In today's vlog, in today's discussion, we're going to talk about everything that you need to apply and audition for an MFA acting program. Here we go. Let's talk about things that you will need for the MFA acting application. Generally, all schools are different, but this is a list of the basic things that you will need. After that, we'll jump into generally what you need to prepare for auditions, and we'll talk about that later. First, let's get into what you need for the application. You're going to need letters of recommendation. And I'm sure you all have gone through this process, submitting them for your undergrad. Most MFA applications right now are asking for 3 letters of rec. Now, there are schools out there that require 2, but want to see more. So there's wiggle room there. But generally, 3 letters of rec is what's being asked for. And let's talk about who you get letters from. I think that MFA programs love to see and also hear from prior professors on how you did back in undergrad. However, I don't think you need more than one. I think you can have more than one if you're submitting a bunch, but generally I try to stay with one professor or somebody you worked with at your undergrad. After that, I think you want to branch out if you can, if you're not going directly from undergrad into grad school and you're taking some time and perhaps you worked on a show or it worked on theater somehow. I think MFA programs really want to see current stuff and views and opinions from a wide range of people that you've worked with. So I recommend not getting stuck in the I'm only going to get submissions from prior teachers. Couple quick side notes on the letters of recommendation. I just want to let you guys know that I only submitted 2 for CalArts. And since I've submitted and applied to CalArts in the past, they've seen the letters from my teachers. And since it had been 3 years since I auditioned for CalArts, I wanted to get people who had worked with me recently. And I don't think it has to be somebody who's in a position of power, a director, a teacher, anything like that. I think you can reach out to your peers that you've done scenes with, people that you've been in shows with, you've acted together. I think that is entirely reasonable to include in your letters of recommendation. Next up, you're gonna need transcripts from your undergrad. You don't need anything, at least I didn't, from high school transcripts, but you're definitely gonna need stuff from your undergrad. They're going to ask for unofficial transcripts, which you can call the registrar at your undergrad and ask for unofficial transcripts, have them sent to you. They might send them directly to the school, but just know you are going to need unofficial transcripts to apply. And if you get into the MFA acting program that you applied to, later down the road, they are going to need official transcripts, which again, you can reach out to the registrar's office at your undergrad and they will send them directly to the school that you got into. So just know you're gonna need some transcripts. All right, guys, what are transcripts? Transcripts are a record of the courses that you took, the grade that you got in that course, and your GPA. And at the end, it tells the school that you're applying to whether you graduated or not. I couldn't find my AMDA transcript, but I did find my University of Iowa transcript because I told you guys I finished that program with my MA, and I just kind of want to show you what this looks like. This is an official transcript, right? So you got your courses, your GPA, your grade, and at the bottom, it says end of academic record. And I'm not sure if it says on this. It doesn't say on this. There we go. Okay, so I found it right up here. University of Iowa degree, Master of Arts, conferred December 15th, 2023. So that is what your school that you're applying to is looking for. Just make sure you're telling the truth on everything. And you're going to need transcripts from every college that you even took courses at. They need to verify everything that you're saying on the application. So if you went to more than one college, just know you're gonna need more than one transcript. All right, guys. Next thing I'm gonna talk about is the statement of purpose. And some schools call them other things. CalArts calls it the artistic statement, but most universities, I think, call them statements of purpose. And this is your opportunity to tell that specific school why you want training from them, why you want training from them in particular, and why you're choosing to audition for that program and not other programs. What makes that program unique for you, and why does that benefit you? And in order to do that, you have got to research every single school that you apply to, every single school that you audition to. You need to know what movement courses they offer, what vocal techniques they offer, and you need to be able to tell the school why you are looking for this training. And I think that is so important. You can't go into applications or auditions because you think that that program is going to make you better at acting. That is so basic. You need to have a deeper reason as to why you are seeking out training from them. To make you better at acting, that's what every school is going to do, right? So you need to really hone in and specify why you want to go get an MFA. And I will talk to you about my reason. So my reason changed as I've progressed through my auditions and applications. I went through a period in 2021 where I had deep anxiety. And this was the first time in my life that I had really felt like I suffered from anxiety, if that makes sense. I started having panic attacks, and that was new. And this actually happened at the University of Iowa, where I was working on something, and I got way too close to home on a scene. And I started letting those emotions flow, and my body shut it down. It said, nope. We started having a panic attack. My face went numb. My hands went numb. It was scary. It was intense. It was disheartening. But right there and then, I knew what I needed from a program. Because when my emotions got real, my body shut down. And in order for me to be the most authentic, truthful artist I can be, I can't allow my body to shut down and tighten on those emotions. And I need a program that dives deep into movement, physicality, breath work, voice. And I need to start loosening those knots in my body that I've been holding on to trauma with in order to be the most authentic artist I can be. That was my reason. Will that make me a better actor? Of course. But I can't say in an application or an audition that I want to be a better actor. I need to have a specific thing that I need to work on in order to become the better actor. So I really encourage you guys to dive deep into this question. Why do you want to go to an MFA acting program? And be honest. You know, you can brag about all of your accomplishments, all of your success, but I guarantee you, programs are gonna look, well, okay, you have all of these accomplishments, all of these successes, why do you need to go to school? It sounds like you got it all figured out. So the most important thing in your statement of purpose is be real to you and don't be afraid to share that. All right, last thing before we get into what to prepare for an audition. This is something that CalArts asked for. This is something that DePaul asked for. And I'm sure there's more programs out there that ask for this. And that's for an audition pre-screen. And all that is a self-tape. I'm sure we're all familiar with self-tapes in the post-pandemic world. They want to see your auditions before you even schedule your audition. I don't know too much about this process because, like I've said, I've only gone through 2 of these like this, but I assume that they use these audition pre-screens to determine whether or not they want to see more from you in an in-person audition. And that's really all I got on that. I can tell you guys that with my audition pre-screens, I recorded the 2 monologues that I did in the live audition. I just sent it out to them, and then later I got an email saying schedule your in-person audition. And I bring this up just to let you guys know, once you get your letters, once you get your statement of purpose, once you get your transcripts, some schools might ask you for a pre-screen, so be ready for that. All right, guys, the fun part, the audition. What do you need for an MFA acting audition? Generally, you need 2 monologues. You need a contemporary piece and you need a classical piece. Some schools will ask you for other things. I remember I auditioned for the University of Alabama back during the pandemic, and they asked me for my 2 monologues. They also asked me for 16 bars of a song, and I'm not a singer. So they asked for that. They also asked for a minute-long movement piece, whatever movement meant to you. So there are schools out there that will ask for different things, but generally what you're looking at is a contemporary monologue, usually 2 minutes or less, and a classical monologue, 2 minutes or less. Usually the guidelines are no more than 4 minutes during your audition because they need to see a bunch of people. So that's that. You should also have on deck a minimum of 2 more monologues in your back pocket, ready to go. And kind of general rule, I would have a backup classical piece and I would have a backup contemporary piece, just in case the schools want to see more from you. That's happened to me plenty of times. And I would be so scared, so shattered if I went into an audition and they asked for another piece and I didn't have one ready. So my recommendation is to have at least 4 pieces that are prepped, polished, ready to go. And let's talk a little bit about pieces, and I know I talked about this in the prior audition, but you need to find monologues, you need to find pieces that speak to you, that show off who you are as a person and also your acting skills. Programs aren't looking for accents. They're not looking for idiosyncrasies that aren't yours. They want to see you, and they want to see how you bring yourself to your pieces, because that's really what they're interested in. They're interested in you. I also want to talk about preparation. Oh my goodness, guys. You can rehearse so much that the piece itself gets stale and it's rehearsed and it's not changing. You're not letting the words affect you as they did when you first started working on the piece. So be careful not to over rehearse something. I'm not saying don't rehearse, but I'm saying be aware of when you've plateaued. And maybe when you plateaued, don't do it for a week, a couple of weeks, and then come back to it. You want these pieces to be fresh. You want them to show you. You don't want to just kind of let muscle memory take over and run your audition. And when you get to the end of it, you're like, I don't even know what I just did. It would benefit you greatly if you're able to really be in the moment in these pieces. Don't let them get stale. Keep them fresh. Rehearse them, don't rehearse them. I know that's confusing. Don't over rehearse is what I'm saying. And generally what happens when you're done with the audition, the panelists will ask you some questions. They'll talk to you about why you want to go to the school, why did you choose the pieces that you chose? I did one of my monologues in sign language. So one of the questions, why did you choose to do your piece in sign language? So be ready for that. Have answers for why you chose the pieces that you did and why you made the choices that you did. And during that little interview session, that is the time also for you to ask them questions. I know that's a cliche. You're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you, but it's true. You have the right to ask them about their program. You have the right to ask them what their favorite part of the program is. Why do they like being a teacher? Why do they like teaching at that school in particular? If you get the moment to talk to the panelists, talk to the panelists. Ask your questions. Answer their questions. Really get to know them in that moment and let them get to know you. And just have fun. I mean, the auditions, it feels like you build up to these moments and then they're over so fast. So really enjoy it. Try not to let the nerves get to you. Try not to let the stakes of the situation get to you. Have fun. That's what first drew us all to the theater, was fun. Have fun in these auditions. Lead with your heart. Don't mask, allow them to see you. It will feel like they're staring daggers into your soul. Let that happen, right? You have nothing to hide. You're going to these auditions because you want to be seen by them. Let them see you. All right, guys, I'm gonna end this video by letting you all know that I am offering MFA and BFA audition coaching. If you are preparing for an MFA audition, if you are preparing for a BFA audition, feel free to reach out to me. My email is aaroncastle1995@gmail.com. I'm offering hour-and-a-half sessions for $40, and these sessions can include everything. Interview prep. They can go over statements of purposes or artistic statements, monologue selection, or just straight up audition workshop. If you or somebody you know would be interested in that, feel free to reach out to me. Again, my email is aaroncastle1995@gmail.com.